I'm sure Guru Nanak saying his way into a lot and saying his way out of a lot.
Yeah, and we were just talking about that, what's going on in India, like with civil disobedience, and how like consistently the theme throughout like all of humankind is, is you try to do something good, and then the people in power don't want people to kind of come together, and then they put you in jail, and then you get even more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, Indy was talking about that.
Goals, right? Goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we see that happen with Malcolm X. We saw that happen with Nelson Mandela, right? We saw it happen with Gandhi. If you whatever your adversions are to Gandhi, I mean, there's so many examples over and over again of like prison actually amplifying the message.
Right.
Yeah.
Julian,
even now
what's that?
I said, do you have any perspectives on that in your own studies of civil disobedience?
I don't know. Well, let me think about that. Let me come back to it. Yeah. Thanks for having me, by the way. Sorry I'm a little late.
No, there's no such thing as late, man. It never ends. The music never ends. So it can't be late. If we don't know where it starts. Right, Stefanosis? Stefanosis.
That's right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to quickly bring up when you mentioned prison, the latest, the guy from Russia came to mind. They tried to poison him, and they couldn't kill him with poison. So he came back to Russia, and the only thing they could do was put him in jail. What do we do with this troublemaker? Let's just put him in jail for something. I don't know. And now he's more powerful, just like you said.
Yeah, it seems like it's funny though. Yeah. So many of us operate in the world though in a state of fear, like we're gonna lose something, and we're gonna lose whatever it is, our space in line, and so we don't stand up for what's wrong because we're like, if I stand up for what's wrong, I'm gonna lose my something, and then like we don't stand up for what's wrong. We like just keep letting it continue, and then we're like, it's not gonna affect us. It's not gonna bother me. It's not bothering me right now. And then eventually your food is poison. Your healthcare is death care, right? And like your transportation, everything is not working anymore, and we can't even travel anymore the same way we traveled. I mean, are we not realizing that it's now everybody's problem? In a lot of ways. So, and even, I mean, Julian, you really care about the environment. I think that's, a really big part of this movement is protecting and saving the environment and actually planting the seed so that we can be here in 10 years and be able to breathe and be able to have a sustainable, livelihood and not be like have to live in like bubbles, right? Literally. So, to acknowledge that, I want to acknowledge, bring in the spirit of Guru Nanak, and you were bringing him up, Stefanosis, and we're just bringing up the spirit of the bringing the spirit of like the cosmic environmentalist, right? The cosmic seeker, right? The person who's like willing to do whatever it takes to protect the environment, to whatever it takes. And sometimes whatever it takes is playing music and having fun and actually celebrating each other, community and unity, right? I think that's actually where we start to solve the problem. Nice. I like the crystal. Nice. You're getting superpowered over there? Come on, what's up? Share those superpowers. You're getting anointed.
Yeah, okay. They got crystals. Everyone say
hi. Hello.
Give me your phone.
All right.
Give me your phone.
They're not the most quiet kids, so apologies ahead of time for screaming.
Maybe they could sing something or give us a Mu mantra or something. Mu mantra.
Yes.
But
I see they're outside in a beautiful space. So.
Yeah, heck yeah, it's beautiful. So as we're evoking that, and just to bring everybody up to speed with what's going on in India, they're continuing to do what they're doing out there. The last I spoke to a doctor who's volunteering, he's actually a cardiologist from California. He's been there for 3 months. He's like totally dropped this practice here in California just to like they've set up a medical tent there. They're like getting free medical to everybody out there. They also have opened up schools for all the homeless people. Like they're educating the homeless, they're feeding everybody. Like this is all around. Imagine Washington D.C. is surrounded. That's what's happened right now. Like the Washington D.C. of India has been completely surrounded by protesters, farmers, workers fighting for workers' rights. So I mean, it's all the untouchables, like the lower castes. They're like, whoa, this is an opportunity for us too to like get out of this caste system that is like literally abusing and just discarding us. So it's really awesome to see. Also, the like one of the things that the doctor said was, we're ready to be there for 3 years. And I was like, what? Like, they're like, how long do you think it's going to last? And like, we're preparing to be here for 3 years. Protesting for 3 years. Can you imagine Americans?
If we hear of a 3-week protest, we're like, this is unbelievable. They're talking about 3 years. It's mind blowing. It's
and
true dedication.
And they're fighting for the seeds. Like, if you really think about it, they're fighting for the seeds to be real. Like, they don't want the GMO seeds. They don't want any pesticides. They don't want that stuff. And they're fighting for that right to like be able to have sovereignty for their land. And which is what we in America don't give a shit about at the moment. We're like, whatever, Bill Gates, make whatever food you want, like feed us. I don't know if that's gonna be the way. And anybody watching this, I really advise you guys to check out Grace. What's up? I really recommend you guys to check out Russell Brand. He came up with a couple of videos this past week. I'll drop them in the links too.
There's some really cute kids on there.
Beautiful. That was so nice.
Whoa. Wahe Gio, Wahe Guru.
Wahe Guru. Oh, they're really happy.
I saw Grogu jumped in there too. I didn't know Grogu chanted. Wow. That was good, guys. You guys are amazing. High five. Virtual high five.
High fives. High fives. Really good. The future is bright, y'all. The future is really bright.
Yes.
Yes, it really is. We are planting the seeds. Truly. Literally and figuratively. So Stefanosis, I want to honor you. Thank you for jumping in, and I would love for you to share, what you were gonna, what you brought and what you're, please, and any thoughts or any comments on what's going on.
Oh yes, absolutely. So I'll start. Thank you for, because you gave me like a good 2-day notice. I was able to write a couple things down, and I'm excited to share. So I'll start by a quote that hit me like lightning that I found. And the quote says, "The government has left us at the mercy of big corporations." Such a simple quote, but when I read it, it just hit me like lightning. That's from Rashprinder Singh, who's a 27-year-old farmer in the Punjab. So when you put that into context, imagine you're 27 and you're working the land and you're working your ass off, and he just summed it up in that simple sentence: the government has left us at the mercy of big corporations. I mean, that one sentence just really says it all. And speaking of Punjab, it's very significant to note the name itself, Punjab, which of course, Indy understands. It's a word that comes from 2 Persian words, Panj, which means 5, and Ab means water. So the 5 waters, you have these 5 rivers flowing through there and making the land just fertile and beautiful, you know, and then you have generations and generations of people who know exactly how to work this land, you know, Mr. Indi Rishi Singh's ancestors, you know, and people who knew what the hell farming was long before anybody else. And so, you know, these are the people of Punjab. And the saddest part is they weren't even consulted by the Modi government. It was this thing of like, oh, by the way, this is what's happening, you know, and the farmers were like, whoa, wait, you didn't tell us, you know, we would like to have a say in our matters, you know, and the Modi government is like, oh, you know, you don't have a say. So it's really insult to injury. And you know, you know, we're in a time where we want to keep politics out of things, and I get that, like trying to be neutral. But when you look at this scenario, it's entrenched in politics. So I actually made an alternate scenario to get a better perspective on it. And Indy, thank you for inspiring this. You really helped inspire this. So this scenario is going to kind of give us more of an idea of what's going on in India. So imagine you're an organic farmer somewhere here, you know, in America, and you have, you know, 10 or 15 free range grass-fed cows. You know, you give these cows the best life, and your business is to sell organic milk in tiny batches, you know. So you're not looking to make a huge profit. You're just trying to be a dairy farmer and give these cows the best life possible. And by the way, just a quick plug for, there's a company doing this that's called Ahimsa Milk, and I believe they're run by Krishna devotees, you know, and the concept is to be a humane dairy farm. So anyways, you know, you have your small plot of land, and you have your free range cows, and you sell these small batches of wonderful organic milk at a farmer's market. Okay, so imagine one day the governor comes along and says, oh, by the way, Bill Gates is going to set up a tent next to your tent at the farmer's market, because he's decided to enter the dairy business, you know. So Gates Milk Gates Milk is coming in with their millions of cows, you know, with swollen udders, and they're pumped with antibiotics, you know, and there's just million of them stuck in these little cages, and they don't even give them eating breaks. They just, you know, stick a tube through their stomach to feed them or whatever. And so he's got these millions of cows, and he sets up shop right near your tent, and Gates Milk is selling a gallon of their corporate milk for $2 a gallon, you know. So you're an organic farmer. You're saying, oh my God, I can't even compete with that, you know. I have to sell my gallon of milk for you know, at least $5 or $7, you know. And here Gates Milk comes, and they're selling their corporate made milk for $2 a gallon. So not exactly what's going on in India, but kind of, you know, similar. Puts it into context. Apparently, Prime Minister Modi is claiming to cut out the middleman, but he's really cutting out any voice of the farmers, and so we can only imagine the frustration, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's my scenario.
Yeah, and Grace made a comment in the chat that Nixon passed a farm bill in the 70s, which did what India is going through now. And there was actually if people don't know in history, American history, there was a famous tractor rally in 1978 where they actually went from all these farmers all across America came and gathered, and they drove their tractors onto DC. If you guys want to look it up, Tractor Rally DC, and you'll see they surround, just like right now, the Indian farmers they surrounded DC, and we're imploring that the U.S. government don't go that direction, that they don't go that direction of like of basically robbing local farmers, rural farmers. And today we see rural America is hit with so much poverty, substance abuse, all kinds of suicides. Stephanie, do you want to hear a crazy statistic on what you're talking about? In America, from between 1992 and 2016, more farmers committed suicide in America than homicides in America. In America. So more farmers killed themselves in America than homicides were committed and deaths were committed.
And we know that Baltimore and Chicago, these cities are plagued by violence, and I never knew that statistic. So if you imagine beyond all these people getting shot and killed, that farmers are committing suicide more than that. So it's not just in India, it's everywhere apparently. And it has to change. They're essential workers, essential workers. It doesn't get more essential than growing food, right?
No.
It's like, oh, that reminds me. I'll share one quote here by Kabir.
Yes.
Kabir is this amazing poet who came from Varanasi, who is also a friend of Guru Nanak. Personally, his poetry changed my life. And this is one of many quotes and poems, but this one says, "Without a farmer, the land is not planted. Without a thread, how can beads be strung?" He's talking about prayer beads. "Without a loop, how can the knot be tied? The same way, without the holy saint, the mortal departs in misery." And that's by Kabir. So Kabir understood that, the farmer plays an essential role, even in the caste system where they're kind of seen as quote unquote lower. But just imagine a lack of food, a lack of resources without farmers.
Yeah, it's important. I mean, we need to recognize that, that connection. I think there's also a call to action. I've been kind of resonating with this too. Like we need a new religion, and maybe that religion already exists around us, and we're kind of swimming in it. Because there is, whenever there's great oppression, whenever there's great inequality, new ideas usually sprout from that oppression. And I don't know, I feel right now just this really important call for us to connect with Earth and connect with the land. And I hope Grace talks a little bit about that. I feel you have some insight to share, and the rest of you guys too. I know some of you pretty well, and you guys are warriors for the Earth. And I think this is an important time. We can't take this lightly. There is a power grab happening while everybody's sleeping and while everybody's in fear. People are in a mass psychosis, and they're like scared. And so people are not ready to step up. The majority of people are not ready to step up for what's right at the moment. They're just protecting themselves. So it's an important time. I want to honor Stefanosis. Will you stick around and share some music?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
But I wanna bring in Julian and honor him too. Thank you and we got some other people in here too. Awesome. So, and not Craig, of course. And we got Aurandeep, and I can see Gurunam and Sudama. Hey guys, and Shanti, I can see her. Oh my gosh, great to see all of you guys. So nice to always Ananda. Oh my gosh. All right. So with this being said, thank you guys for showing up. I'll give you guys kind of the agenda. I like to call it agenda instead of agenda because that sounds so like, I don't want to have any agendas. So the agenda is that we'll kind of like, what we'll do is we'll kind of rotate to everybody. And if you have any like time restrictions, you could write in the chat that you gotta like go at a certain time or whatever, and I'll queue you up faster. But really, what we're gonna do is like 5 to 10 minutes for each person. Share your thoughts, any perspective, insight, and then some music or some prayer or something, maybe even a chant. It's up to you, whatever you want to do, right? Really, it's the idea for what we're doing is kind of in Guru Nanak spirit for us to come together in unity, but also maybe plant some seeds of prayer, plant some seeds of possibility, plant some seeds of resolution, right? What does that even look like? And maybe getting rid of shedding stuff too, because it's a full moon. So, there's also a good opportunity for us to get rid of stuff that blocks, right? That are not allowing us to face the shadow, right? In our complete, in our brightness, right? To bring light into the darkness. So that being said, I'm going to hand over the energy ball to Julian. Julian, will you share your insight? Please share like also your warriorship and any music. And I know you're a brilliant musician, so.
Thank you, man. I invited Not Craig to this, so hello, Not Craig.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So Rishi and I connected sort of recently, even though we've kind of been in the same circle for a while, and we've been collaborating on this environmental festival. It'll be a virtual and in-person kind of thing, sometime in the fall when things kind of reveal themselves as far as live music goes. But we're working with a platform called Dice FM, and they have a million-person global audience. And so we're just kind of brainstorming that with a little team of people, and I extend the invitation to you guys if that sounds like something that excites you. The idea is for the proceeds to go to environmental awareness, and in all different kinds of fields, whether it's through reforestation, through permaculture. There's just, the list is endless. But we're going to definitely donate to a lot of or to nonprofits here in more urban settings, and also see if we can help out reforestation in rural settings as well, here in California particularly, and LA and the Bay. So that's my thing. I'm a musician full-time, and I'm trying to get more into environmental work. So I've been volunteering with a couple organizations, and yeah, I actually am really called to learn more about this. And I was checking out your podcast, Rishi, yesterday, because I follow this particular guru named Sadhguru in India, and what got me into reforestation was that he was reforesting in India, and what I understand is that they were he's spearheading a movement that was the first time that all of India's states had unanimously agreed on an environmental measure. And what it did is it incentivized farmers and government to plant trees along the rivers, the major rivers in India, so that over time they would bring back rainfall and the rivers revitalized. And so before this project, they did something called Project Green Hands, which planted most trees anywhere in the world in one given day. It was like millions of trees. It broke the Guinness World Record. And so now this is their current project. And I'm really interested to learn more about what's happening in India because of my connection with the guru and with their work, and always been fascinated and in love with like Indian culture and all the wisdom that comes from there. And I saw some stuff that he actually shared something with Rishi about. He was kind of standing in solidarity with Modi, which was surprising for me to hear. But I'm going to be doing some more research and figuring out where his stance really is, because he's such a figurehead, not only in India, but for a lot of the Western world as well. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at environmentally. And I thought of a song I would share today, kind of just to start. And I wrote this song when I was actually reforesting. I was literally planting trees when I wrote this song. And on the big island of Hawaii, we were doing guerrilla style tree planting with this guy called the Sandalwood Mark, and he has planted tons and tons of trees, like tens of thousands of trees on the big island. native sandalwood. And so this song is definitely a prayer and intention. It's called Seed Song. You can sing along if you feel like it. I won't be able to hear you. And if I do hear you, it'll be like a little bit behind. So that's all right. Or you can jam along. I see some instruments. Cool. And I'm also recording 3 records, and this is on one of them. So here goes. Seed Songs. Sing a song for nature, sing a song for peace, sing a song for the creatures, the human family, sing a song for the children, sing a song for the sea, sing a song for women, for equality. 'Cause I've been searching for this love through all my life, and I'm just learning how to love through all my life, singing there's only reason to love, there's only reason to love, to take the rest away. If it's just us under this moon, you must be me and I must be you. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song, song, seed. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song. Sing one for my brothers. Sing one for my sisters. Sing one for the lovers. Sing one for the neighbors. Sing a song for trees, seeds, and all that you eat. For elders and angels and those we don't see. For seers, teachers, tantra, and healers. On my bones and my breath to rejoice before death. Because we've been searching for this love through all our lives, and we're just learning how to love through all our lives, singing there's only reason to love, there's only reason to love, to take the rest away. If it's just us under this moon, you must be me and I must be you. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song, song, seed. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song, song, seed. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song, song, seed. Sing a song, seed song. Sing a song, song, seed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Even Chintula likes it. Very good. You did a very good job. Very good. Very good, Beta. Very good. Very good.
I wish I could hear all the the music happening on the that I'm seeing on the screens. So thank you guys.
Whoa, thank you, dude. Look, you manifested a seed right into my hand. How'd you do that?
Whoa.
There it is.
An acorn seed.
Now you gotta plant it, Rishi.
I'm gonna poop it out, you know?
Add some fertilizer.
Oh my God! Wait, I think I heard. Is that God? Hello? Was that Gurunam, aka God? Wait, I heard something. I want to. Hey,
yes, Rishi.
Gurunam. Wow, I'm so happy you're here. Listen, you guys, I have to honor Gurunam. If it wasn't for her, I don't know if I would have the courage to continue doing this. She's been so instrumental, and it's been so great to team up with a fellow sister, a fellow powerful, another fragment of the divine, and I'm really thankful for you, Gurunam. I can't believe last night you sang on the Clubhouse while you're in the plane. You guys, she was in the first class like, working, and she sang a song in the middle and the Clubhouse Kirtan.
Yeah, that was insane. So my day job is I work as a flight attendant, but like, I mean, I'm half Punjabi. My dad grew up as a farmer. So like, this is a issue that's very near and dear to my heart. And yeah, like I finished my service in first class, and then I was like, okay, I'll use my like 1 hour of free Wi-Fi to log in while this is happening. And like, so I was hiding in the corner. Like pulled the curtain back. Yeah, that was crazy, but it was like, hey, I mean, that's life, we're all kind of like multitasking and multifaceted beings, so you just kind of like make it work. Yeah, thank you, Rishi, that's so sweet. Yeah, I'm just really like, this just has felt so easy actually, and really fulfilling. So, and healing as well, like as you shared, it's been healing for you. I feel that as well. It just is it's so fun to gather with everyone and to hear what they have to share. Like, I'm so inspired and so filled up every time I come to this.
Yeah, and I'll add to that too. I think Julian brought up a good point. One of the things for what we're doing here in building solidarity is not just sharing music, which is great and important, and building harmony and resonance with each other, but also like there's different things we're doing that are call to actions, right? For example, Julian is organizing this environmental festival. Like, Julian, please share your email with everyone in the chat if anybody wants to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
So this is ways that we can continue to build solidarity going forward with action plans, right? Because I think it's one thing for us to be like, oh great, I just came and did this, but we can do more. I think we're all pretty powerful people, and we know powerful people, and right. So if we start to mobilize, we can get a lot of cool stuff done, right, Gurunam?
Yeah. Actually, Rishi, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I feel like that brings up the word community. Like, when we can gather in community, then we can pool our resources and we can communicate and be like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, you have that? Okay, cool. And like, I had no idea, Julian, that, what you're doing like even exists. And yeah, if there's like any way that aligns with my lifestyle that I can be involved, like, heck yeah, because that's so freaking cool. So yeah, and like having this kind of space, gathering together, opens up, the ability to like to connect and support each other.
And that being said, oh my God, I got a little note here. I can't get over Gurunam. Will you introduce Shanti? And also, I always love when she drops of vibration on us, because it's just a whole nother level. So please.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we've got the amazingly talented and beautiful Shanti Shivani. I have been studying Drupad Rag, so a very old form of Indian classical music, with her since for like 8 years now, on and off. It's basically her life's work, and she's extremely talented and a channel of the divine voice coming through. And yeah, we're really honored to have you, Shanti. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Gurunam. It's always, as Rishi was saying and you were saying, I've been here every time now, and it's really my therapy to connect with all these beautiful, like-minded souls in these times. So I'm going to let you choose, because there's so much that I could sing. On the one hand, I was thinking of singing the great invocation to purify the waters in ourselves and in the world and in all trees and plants and everything, that the Japanese sacred chant that Dr. Emoto asked me to put a melody to. Or I could, of course, do a Drupad thing, but Rishi's saying yes. Okay. So I'm going to give you the words maybe in a chat real quick.
Yes, please.
Okay. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no. Oh, I have to sing it. Makoto no daiva no. Happened to the D. Daiva no miyo ga narinata. And what this means is the universe has been crystallized to create an era of peace and great harmony. So this is the sacred language of Japan. It's called Kototama. There are 3 languages in Japan. So Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiva no miyo ga narinata. So everybody got it in the chat? Okay, so we have to do it, though, at least 6 times. So I'm going to sing it once, and then you can join in. It's very simple. So I received this chant.
I'm sorry, Shanti.
Yeah?
Did you already say what it's about?
I did.
Cool.
The universe has been crystallized to create an era of peace and great harmony. Or the infinite power of the universe, I should say, has been crystallized to create an era of peace and great harmony. So yeah, I brought this through. You can't compose this type of thing. So maybe we can all focus first on the waters in ourselves. We're water babies, we're 70% water. And then we can visualize all the bodies of water and the rivers and the creeks and oceans of the world, and then also the plant world and the animal world, and basically all beings, to purify the waters. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiva no miyo ga narinata. That's all it is. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiva no miyo ga narinata. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiva no miyo ga narinata. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiva no miyo ga narinata. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiba no miyo ga narinata. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiba no miyo ga narinata. So last time. Uchu no mugen no chikara ga korikote makoto no daiba no miyo ga narinata.
Thank you so much, Shanti.
Thank you.
That was lovely. Yes, and continue to keep sharing these gifts, not just with us, with all your students and your family and others. I think I also, want to honor you. Last night you shared, and maybe you can give some more perspective to some of those people here who are new, about your relationship with the farmers in India and your connection to what's going on.
So I lived in India for many years, and the first 4 years I was basically mainly on pilgrimage. But I did stay also in the mountains of Uttar Pradesh with the farmers' family and got to experience the really, really tough life that they have, especially the women. And I love the people so much, the mountain people. And then I also spent a bunch of time in Rajasthan, of course, also I was staying with my Baba in his Hanuman temple, but we would have the villagers come all the time and we would sing Kirtan every night until midnight. I mean, everybody from the police superintendent to the bank director and everybody was there around the dhuni, around the fire pit, and we were singing. So that was actually the first time I started singing Kirtan. So that was in 1977. But then when I lived in Benares studying music, I was living in the Harijan community, so the untouchable community. And all of these people are, of course, farmers.
Right.
And so I got to know, how oppressed they are. They were not even allowed to learn about their own religion. So there were all these projects that were set up by this wonderful Dutch priest. And I'm not going to go into all the different projects, but he had to also go underground because he got death threats, basically. Also, the community garden that he started had to be protected day and night because the higher caste people wanted to destroy them. Something unbelievable, which I just cannot conceive of. How do you not want to help your fellow?
Yeah, and with that being said, Shanti, I want to add what Julian, you were talking about, Sadhguru. I mean, obviously, do your own research. Don't believe anything you're said, but a big part of what's going on in India is also a caste issue. A lot of people don't realize that this movement is actually the farmers and the workers coming together, and the workers, more specifically, are all the untouchables because they've been treated like crap for centuries, and this is like their opportunity, and they're actually getting recognized and supported by the farmers. Like they're coming together. And so there are like all these like power structures of like wanting to keep the status quo because those people were the people cleaning the people's houses and washing their cars and driving them around. And now they're like, we want to get paid properly. We want to be able to live. And they're like, no, you guys got to stay down there. And so in fact, one of the women who got arrested was a lawyer. She one of the human rights violations. She was arrested because she was joining the protest and she was galvanizing the Dalits. She was galvanizing, and she's only 21 years old, and she was getting them to kind of join this whole movement, because it is everybody's movement, right? It's not just, it's a poor people's movement, but it's also a farmers movement as well.
Yes, yes, that's very true. So yeah, so I've always felt, I got to India, it was like, oh, this is my old home, you know, it was all these deja vus all the way through India. So anyway, I feel very connected to the farmers, and of course I know that farmers all over the world is what keeps sustaining us. I mean, what would we do without them? You know, this is just yeah. So I'm just pretty devastated at times, and the only way I can keep myself going is the music and bringing down the light of the mother. And as much as I can remember, you know, the golden light of the mother with mantra Om Namo Bhagavate or Om Namah Shivaya or whatever mantra resonates with you. I think it's so important that we shift the energy on the planet with not just positive thoughts, but also mantras. Right. And next time, maybe I'll share, when I have some time, the Mahamrityunjaya mantra. Yeah. I mean, I could share it now, but I don't want to take up everybody's time. But the Mahamrityunjaya is like the most potent mantra. It is Shiva.
I could do a version of that, Shanti, right now if you wanted, or soon.
Yeah, but anyway, so this one is all about avoiding any kind of calamity, natural disaster, war, whatever. And I do it every morning and visualize the world and different people who need healing. So if Sudama wants to share it now, I'm fine with that. Hello, my dearest brother. Good to see you again.
Hi there. Yeah, there's a song I put together with that. Round and round, round we go, free like a river as we flow. Fruit of the vine divine, we grow, keeping close to the glow. We know love is the road we're taking. Love is the journey we're making. Love is the door that is opening. Love is the grace that is flowing in. Love without measure. Gold, solar treasure. We are the weather. Divine pressure. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhana Varukamiva Bandhana Prityor Mukshya Mamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhana Varukamiva Bandhana Prityor Mukshya Mamrita. Round and round, round we go, free like a river as we flow. Fruit of the vine divine, we grow, keeping close to the glow. We know. The words are actually the translation of it, right? Keeping close to the ghost about this sort of divine fruit. We're the vine on the vine divine. Keeping close to the
Drink it the wine
Yes.
of the divine.
Yes.
Thank you, Sudama. Oh, that was beautiful. And thank you, Shanti. I want to, if you do have to leave too, I really thank you for your blessings and grace.
Well, so wonderful that you continue doing this, bringing in more and more people and raising the awareness about what is going on. And I'm honored to be here. And I will be back again. Okay. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you, Shanti.
Thank you. It's a beautiful day for a change in Oregon. The sun is out. Gonna have a celebration day with my granddaughters.
Yeah. Enjoy. Give them a hug from all of us.
I will. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Love you too.
And you know, that brings up a good point too. You know, I think part of these kirtans also is for us to, you know, if you know, I also call all of you guys, if you guys want to include anybody, we're gonna keep doing this every week, right? So if you want to invite others, if you guys ever need this for yourselves and you want to share, or you want to come on, but also let's also increase diversity. If you guys ever know anybody who, like, they don't get a voice at the table, they don't ever get an opportunity to share at the table, right? We're gonna be as inclusive as possible. Even if there's a robot or an alien, that's cool too. Even if they're grays, like, we'll let the grays play some music. You know, maybe they have some poetry or something to share. Let's honor all beings in this space. And that being said, we got some new people. Ananda, I have not I don't think
I can introduce Ananda, Rishi.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, so Ananda is a dear friend. I've known Ananda since I was maybe like 15 or something. She was helping to run the Midi Pidi Academy, the American Sikh school in Amritsar in India. She's originally from Mexico, and I think she lives in Germany now. She's married to a German man, Amrit Singh. And yeah, she kind of like has been like an auntie figure, but is also a friend. And welcome, Ananda.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored and just feel so like it's such an important time to be here and to share all this, you know, what's happening in India, in Amritsar and all over India with the farmers, and to really become aware of it more and more. And I think, you know, I lived in India for 16 years, so I think it's dear to my heart what's happening, and dear to a lot of people, and we have to stand together and make it aware to everybody of what's happening and become more conscious. And so I wanted to participate and just, you know, hear everybody and be part of this movement of what's happening in the world. And so I'm happy to listen to everybody. And if the energy happens to come together, I'm happy to share some bhangra. I'm a bhangra teacher. And yeah, which comes from the Punjab. And, you know, the farmers use it to kind of celebrate and, you know, joy. So, but I would like to do it maybe at the end after everybody shares their soft music, so it doesn't like change the mood. So let's see if it comes to that. But I'm really honored and happy to hear everybody's beautiful kirtan music and just everybody's words, and just, you know, become more and more aware of what's happening with these beautiful people that give their lives to make food for everybody and feed everybody. So thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for your journey and for embracing the culture in such an amazing way. Like, you took it to a whole nother level. And you know, I will say too, you know, and kind of like updating you guys too, you know, the United Nations just released something a couple of days ago, officially telling India that they need to respect human rights. They need to respect peaceful protests. They, like, you know, made a statement, official statement. So, you know, in my opinion, that happened because of influencers sharing stuff. People keep sharing stuff on social media. And, you know, I've been getting shadow banned. Like, I've literally been getting censored just sharing things about the protest. Not like anything building violence. No, I'm like, none of the stuff I'm doing is about violence or any anti anything. No anti stuff on my stuff. Yet I've been getting censored, but still more and more people that are talking about it, sharing about it, it does create this universal consciousness. There is something going on with like morphic intelligence, collective intelligence, co-intelligence. When we all start paying attention to something, especially if there's like a genocide that can happen or there's some atrocity that can happen, we could prevent it with our consciousness, right? That's my opinion. You guys, we can all talk and argue about that, but that's something to think about. Like, just, is our prayers and thoughts powerful? And is that the first step? Because yeah, we can take actual physical things and we do physical things too. But if you don't believe that there's a problem and that you need to pray for, you know, it's like you can't even deal with it, right? You can't even do anything to fix it. So that being said, I definitely want to honor Not Craig. I'm gonna jump you in here, but before I jump you in, I'm gonna first give the stage to Grace. So Not Craig, hold on, okay? Grace, will you grace us with some wisdom, philosophy, music, vibration, or you could just make some weird noises too. That's fine.
Weird noises is probably the hardest part.
Rishi, you're so awesome.
But I could go with that first. That took me a really long time to learn how to do that. I mean, I'm not joking, because when you pick up a flute, your ego wants you to be able to blow a note and blow it really nicely so it sounds good. So you practice, like for all instruments, you practice the instrument for years to sound good. And then if you go and try to intentionally sound like, you know, weird sound, it's actually hard to do, because you're scared to be like, oh my God, I can make a crappy sound. I've been working so hard to sound good. You know, I want to respond to Rishi, because it's very easy to get into a state of high energy and anxiety and even, you know, fear and anger to witness what is happening on the world stage. And for me, it's been very difficult to see my teachers and gurus and people that are spiritual, and the people I look up to, both in music and spiritual matters, that have a platform but have not used it to speak truthfully about the day-to-day issues of common people. And there are people that I care very much about. There's our very dear teachers of mine who have remained silent, because when you get a degree of success, you are attached to the benefits of that success. And we already know that governments, when people reach a certain level of success, that governments will crack down on those folks if they start to speak out. And we already know, my wife grew up in a lineage, a very great yoga lineage. They were basically socialists. And this lineage is all around the world, and they were helping the farmers and helping the peasants and feeding people, and the Indian government cracked down on them and put many of those people in prison because, you know, back in the 60s and 70s, they were feeding everybody. And some of those people happened to be communist rebels. And the government blamed them for inciting, you know, violence and supporting rebels. And so they were greatly suppressed. And my wife had a visitation one time from some monks that traveled from India to the US, and they sat with her. And this was where they got the name for my wife, my wife's sacred name. And these monks had been in prison and tortured in India for feeding homeless and feeding the poor. And my wife said they were the most loving people, the most divine people she'd ever been with. And as a child, she immediately recognized that love. And so for me, I've personally had to go outside and hold onto a tree because this evolutionary process we're in is about connecting to the earth. And Shanti was saying, bringing the golden light down. True, you got to do that. But you also need to go and connect with the earth and ground, hold a tree, hold a rock, lay your body on the ground, and bring the energy, the life force energy of the earth into your body, And that life force energy is the evolutionary consciousness change that humanity is going through. And so we have to remain very positive and loving, look at the figures that are not speaking out, feel the grief and the pain of that disappointment, and transmute it into more love, into more light, into a greater gift that you have to give, so that you can get a platform to speak out, because these systems of control are breaking down. They are going away. Human consciousness is evolving past these systems. And so it's all coming out, and you just have to see, what's my place in that? Is my role to be someone who's angry and helps dismantle the system by going into maybe a very negative experience with that system, because that is a possible path? Or is my job to bring in the new system by elevating my consciousness, by basically evolving? And there's someone who said to me recently, I was watching a show about plants, and the guy said, look, there's a plant. Just imagine your feet are buried in the ground, and yet you have to get water from over there, food from over there. You have to get a pollinator from over there, and there's a tiger coming to eat you, and you have to defend yourself. And a plant can do all this and not move, right? So we are the ambassadors of the plant kingdom. The earth is the plant world, right? And if we connect to the plants are going to help us evolve so that we can speak on their behalf. But we do that with beauty. And so that's my message for today. I will play something on my flute. And last time I was so nervous, it was difficult to play. But I normally play the flute as a practice, a walking devotional practice. So I'm always walking and playing. So it's hard for me sometimes to just sit still and play. But I also always play as a duet. I always play with my teachers. And so I'm going to play, but I'm going to put on one of my teachers. And a lot of people know this person. He's not a direct teacher. Like, I've met him, and, he played like a minute for me. So I consider him a teacher, because it's like that minute that he played for me was an amazing minute. And I took that deeply into my heart. So this is Manos. And I don't know if y'all know Manos, but he travels around with Prema Deval or something like that. And
Deva
My nose.
Premal.
Yeah, with Deva
Deva
Premal.
Premal. My dad knows both of them. He brought them to Mexico for a concert, a couple concerts.
Beautiful.
His name is Manoj.
Manos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so again, I don't know him that well. I met him once at a concert, and I had a flute. So the shaman work that my wife and I do, we're shamans in a Peruvian tradition, which I could talk about there. I'll talk about it for a second. They have all these prophecies, and the prophecies are about the time right now and the change of time. And the Caro people knew that the Spanish were coming. They went and hid in the mountains for 450 years. They preserved their tradition in the mountains and were in a secret village. They came down out of the mountains about 70 years ago and started teaching their traditions, unbroken traditions. They say all the way back to the Himalayas, 40,000 years, right? So an unbroken tradition goes way back. It's beautiful. And when I was there studying with them, they are still oppressed down in Peru, but it's changing, and witnessing them, working with them was absolutely beautiful. So their prophecies and all the traditions I follow, all the prophecies are about this time and us evolving as a humanity to a more loving place. So Manos is playing a very, very famous Indian rag called Yaman. It's one of the most important rags in Indian music. And so I'm going to play along with him for just a minute or two. And I apologize, the sound, it's not that great online, but we'll go along with him. Here we go. So I honor my teachers. Can you hear him? Okay. gonna plan on shakuhachi for a second because you asked last time. All right, that's my 5 minutes of playing.
Oh my God, that was amazing. And thank you for the insight and for blowing wind, you know? Sometimes we gotta just blow some wind, right?
I try my well, I won't make a joke about that, but that was an opening for a joke.
It was definitely an opening for a joke. And you know, and all jokes aside, I do recognize the importance of this time. And you know, I think what you brought up was very important, is that you know, we, in order to face these shadows, in order to face what's going on, we might need to acknowledge the joyfulness that we're gonna need to tap into. Like, we're gonna need to tap into community. We're gonna need to tap into these things. Like, we can't pretend that we have to be serious all the time and we're gonna get something done, right? It's like what's the Einstein quote is like, you can't fix a problem with what, anybody fix that? What is it? Like, can't fix a problem.
The same level of consciousness the problem was created. And so what you're describing, and this is one of the Tibetan traditions that my wife and I follow, is the Bon Dzogchen tradition. And they would describe this as the two wings of the bird. So we need to fly. We need to be set free. The two wings of the bird is exaltation. On one side, you got to go into exaltation. You got to experience the light. You have to nurture that part of yourself. And the other side is self-inquiry into the shadow, into the unconscious. And with these two wings, you can learn to fly. And the majority of the work that I do in the world with my wife, in the shamanic practice that we do shadow work with people. That's all we do. Shadow work. We have a very, very sneaky ways that we've been programmed unconsciously with the wounds and traumas and belief systems of our ancestors. And those sneaky programs living in our unconscious keep us trapped. They keep us locked into this system that we are all experiencing. And because we're experiencing more light, that system is being revealed to us in more contrast. The higher contrast allows us to see what this system is. And the only way to deprogram that system is to remove it from inside of you. And if you remove it from inside of you, that's doing the inquiry, that's doing the shadow work. That allows you to exalt higher, farther, more light can come in. So you remove shadow, more light comes in, and it's a cycle. If you know how to work this cycle and you can get on this cycle, then spirit can take your life into the highest possibility of service, the highest opportunity of service, because we're all here to be of service to the planet and to humanity and of the light. So this is something I rigorously do. And you know, all my instrument practices are really not about being a musician. It's about my practices helping me do this shadow work and exaltation work. And that's why it's my music and flute playing is part of a meditation that I mythically walk through the woods and do this work. So that's just a small background on what I do.
Nice, thank you. Yes, and thank you for exaltation and shadow work, insight, inquiry. They fly together, and so we not just on this call, but wherever this ends up spreading onto the world, and us continue to have conversations is a part of that. But we can, I'm gonna ask you guys again. We can joke our way through it. Okay, it might be a way that we can actually go deeper. In my opinion, in my own research, right? I think that's why humor is so powerful. Some of the most powerful comedians have also been able to help us look at society in ways that we would normally never be able to look at them. Okay, so we got, I want to honor, we're supposed to end at 12:30. If you guys are okay with us going a little bit over, That'd be awesome. If you guys are okay. If anybody's got to go, let me know, and let me know if you got to go ASAP, and then we'll like make sure you can share what you got to share. But not Craig. What do you got for us, man? What are your thoughts on what's going on? Questions or philosophy, and any music, poetry, whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. So thank you so much for just having me on here. I actually believe we've met before at Family Conscious Dinner.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting how I was like, wait a minute, this is, I'm like, this seems like we've met before. So it's good to see you again. And yeah, it's I think in times of great change and just global uncertainty, everything that we're kind of going through right now, it's just so important to create this community and consciousness to just kind of connect. And I mean, with everything, especially right now after full moon, and just feeling that power of being able to just tune inward and, you know, hone in on a good sense of community. It's important. So I'm here just to hold that space and learn more about these causes. My father grew up on a farm and lived off the land. There's 12 kids in that family, so it's a big family there. And yeah, it's farmers' rights are something that are very close to my heart, and I feel it's important to just raise awareness, and I'm here for the cause.
And that being said, you know, I'm curious, are you familiar, where do you live?
I live in Bellflower, so it's like halfway through to Long Beach.
Okay.
In LA.
There. So I mean, are you familiar? Are you like involved, or do you know any like farmers unions or collaboratives or anything where you live or around?
I don't. I actually don't know around me, but I definitely would like to connect more with that. So.
So if I can lovingly challenge you,
mm-hmm.
and if you can
Love
find,
that.
yeah, if you go to your farmers markets or whatever, like, and go make some relation with the farmers, and and let's see. I'm like, I would love to help. If you can find out, I want to find out how we can help the farmers in our backyards. Because they're, you know, and there's also undocumented workers that are like completely getting obliterated right now, and we don't know because they're not on the record, right? So
yes, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I think everybody would kind of, I don't know who else will jump in with me on this, but I would definitely love to support them, whether it's financially, or maybe we can bring, you know, help with education or well-being, mental health. I mean, there's a lot of things we could do, you know?
Perfect. I agree.
Sweet. Awesome. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, not Craig. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna tune in before we bring in Ananda to drop a beat if she feels called. No pressure. I want to add one more thing. I'm bringing Stefanosis to share something. But I wanted to add another really important a powerful moving force that's been working in India. There's a chant that's been used collectively there, and the chant is Chardi Kala, right? Which if I could translate that, maybe Aurandeep, what is Chardi Kala?
Eternal optimism.
Eternal optimism. And they've been using that chant to like galvanize everybody over and over and over again. And I think there is something to say about that for us to also remember Chardi Kala, like that, whatever we're doing, let's do it with like infinite, eternal optimism, right? Plant those seeds. Stefanosis, will you share something?
Let me unmute. All right, there we go. Thanks for bringing me back. This is beautiful. Just hearing all this music. Hey, thank you for bringing me back, Indy. Thank you all, the amazing musicians. And on the farmers note, this is really interesting. I'll quickly just say, you know, let's keep networking, because as the universe would have it, I just moved to Central California, like let me see, it's been a little under 2 months now. So I'm literally living in the middle of these farmland communities. It's pretty wild. It was unplanned. It's just something that happened. So so I haven't come into close contact yet, but that's something I'd like to network more with you on, because I'm right here and right in the middle of all this farming and infrastructure.
And Aurandeep is in Fresno, so.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm about half an hour from Fresno.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's get to the music, shall we? I have here. This is called a Thai pin. It's only 3 strings. So I guess in India they'd call it a tintar, maybe. Tintar. But my parents went to Thailand. I haven't been there yet. I'd love to get there one day. And I told them, bring me back the weirdest instruments you find. So they brought me back this Thai pin. And it's tuned to like a A or something. So based on your theme, Indy, I said, well, what am I gonna do? There's all these beautiful mantras and there's bhajans and you name it. So the idea came to me, I'm gonna try my first folk song in Hindi. So I hope I don't botch it, but even if I do, right? But I went on Google Translator, and you know the argument by the government is that the protesters are terrorists. It's such a typical stale argument. It's like, come on. So my retort to that is Batta Bujan Atankavad Nahi Hai. I hope I said that right, but this translation is supposed to be growing food is not terrorism. So I'm gonna do a whole song. I'll spend a couple minutes to sing that line, Batta Bujan Atankavad Nahi Hai. And the second part is Virod Karna Atankavad Nahi Hai, which means protesting is not terrorism. So let me call my tabla player. Tabla player, chalo. It's on my phone. Can you hear that? You hear that? Or should I turn it up? Here we go. Batajan Atankavad Nahi Hai. Batta Bujan Atankavad Nahi Hai. Batta Bujan Atankavad Nahi Hai. Batta Bujan Atankavad Nahi Hai. Nahi Hai. Growing food is not terrorism. Growing food is not terrorism. Growing food is not terrorism. Nahi hai. Protesting is not terrorism. Protesting is not terrorism. Protesting is not terrorism. Charity Kala, Charity Kala, Charity Kala, Charity Kala, Charity Kala, Charity Kala. Charity Kala, 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 Sri Kala, Sri Kala. Woo, that was fun.
Very good, sir. Very good.
That was fun.
That was lit. That was so fun.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. You are now the India superstar #1.
You, thanks to you,
Thank you.
Rajasthani puppet.
Thank you very much.
Oh my god, that was great. And I could swear I could hear everybody playing. Like, was it me? Like I could hear everybody playing for a moment. Was I the only one?
The universal conscience.
The farmers felt that one in India for sure.
Yes. Yes, definitely. All right, so, all right, Ananda, we're gonna bring you on in a second, but Aurandeep, I want to honor you, bro. I know you got your jam. You want to share anything?
Well, there's just a quote that's been in my head this whole session, and it's by Rabindranath Tagore, and he says, "The one who plants trees, probably never ever going to sit in their shade, has started to understand the meaning of life." So just realizing that it's bigger than all of us, and it's just to keep this earth, healthy for the generations to come, and leave this world better than what we were given it. As I'm around all these beautiful children, I'm pondering, like, what is life going to look like 2 decades from now when they're in my position? And just to make sure that, I do the best I can to introduce them to community like this, which isn't really available in my family, so doing my part to like plant seeds that, as you can see, they already know Kirtan and they already chant and they're teaching me. But being able to, as they grow up, connect them to community that's building unity in the world. So yeah, just honoring the youth and doing the best to lead by example for them.
Aho. Yes, brother. Thank you. All right. And I think now, I'm ready for some Ananda. What do you think?
Okay. So is it possible for you to make me co-host so I can share my music? Do you know how to do that?
Boom, your co-host now.
Awesome. Okay. 1 second. So I would like to share some bhangra, and I would like for those who feel comfortable and want to stand up and kind of like, shake it all out would be awesome. You can follow kind of like share this happiness and this kind of like coming from your heart energy towards the farmers, and just they're gonna feel that vibe of happiness and power from everybody here. So if you can come standing up and just follow me, and if you don't know bhangra, you can stand up, you can watch, you can do whatever you want, but you'll feel really kind of fun doing this. So let me just put on the music. 1 second. One second. Okay.
And to give you guys some reference, like as I've been playing and practicing and doing bhangra for years, bhangra for me is like a shamanic dance, honoring the earth. Like we use bhangra to celebrate the farming seasons, like the planting and harvesting. Like literally, it's a celebration of nature. So literally. Actually, Gurunam, it's weird. Like a few years ago when I first started like getting into shamanism, like, you know, like connecting with like South American shamanism, I started starting just paying attention when I would dance to bhangra. Like, wait, these movements are like honoring the directions and the earth. Like, I was like, whoa, I didn't recognize my whole life. Like dancing, it's like, wow, it's totally shamanic. Like,
oh my God, totally. You're like shaking off stuff. Yeah.
Okay, can people hear it?
It's
okay, here we go.
So Ananda, you at the bottom left, make sure you on the arrow that's right next to the microphone. If you click that, it says audio set, or you want to just make sure that your microphone, make your microphone the same as the system. So the bottom left.
Can you hear it?
It's going through the microphone, but if you switch it to the same as the system.
Okay.
Try that. It's coming, but it's like a little bit like feels distant.
It should be on original sound.
Original sound?
Yeah, that's what it should be. That's what you want. Otherwise, it gets a compression, which is set up more voice conferencing.
That's a good point. Yeah. Also,
let's see if this works. Yeah, tell me.
I can also play off of my computer too, which is another possibility.
Okay. Okay, see if it works, and if it doesn't, you can play something off your computer. Check it. See if it works. 1 second. I'm gonna mute myself so you can hear the music.
Woo.
Yeah.
Chocolate party.
Woohoo.
Good job, everybody. Thank you for sharing that moment of spirit,
That was
of
awesome.
heart. Thank you guys. That was awesome.
I just had a vision. I was like, all the farmers in India, while they're protesting, just keep busting out your bhangra moves, you know, just.
Yeah, can you imagine if they're trying to stop you from protesting, the police come and everybody just starts dancing and doing bhangra? It's gonna be really hard to get those people wrangled, you know?
Okay, imagine this. The police start dancing along.
Yes. It's
Everybody's
contagious.
having so much fun. They want to join in. And then they all sit down and they eat together. They have cha. And they talk and they discuss how to resolve this in a peaceful way.
I dig it. I dig it.
Yes. Dancing revolution.
Yes, thank you so much. That was awesome. I love dancing bhangra and just remembering those moments in India with those people and just all coming together in one platform at the same level and just sharing from the heart. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing and thank you for your work. And I hope
Thanks for sharing, Ananda.
Yeah, I hope you continue
That
to
was
come
awesome.
every week, right? Every Sunday. If you ever need this, you want to share anything, please. If you want to share
Yeah,
anything,
Ananda.
yeah, go ahead.
Actually, that was perfect because the last 2 times, Rishi, like we did actually naturally dance bhangra.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
we
we're
had
just all on the same page.
we gotta move our bodies too, right? We gotta move our minds and our bodies, right? So that being said, to send us all off with a lot of love, I want to honor Gurunam. And Gurunam has such amazingness to offer. So maybe, Gurunam, will you share a vibration with us, a shabad, a call, whatever you want, please?
Okay, yeah. Well, what just keeps coming to me is like the Mol mantra, Ekonkar, Satnam, Karta Purik, Nirbo, Nirver, Akal Murit Ajuni, Sebang, Gur Prasad Jap, Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hebi Sach, Nanak Hosti Be Such. And that's the first part of the scripture, and that's like everything is supposed to be contained in there, and then the rest of the scripture is just all explaining that phrase. And basically, yeah, oneness, like we're all interconnected, and source energy is all pervading in everything. It's undying. And yeah, channeled through Nanak. So just wanted to share that prayer, and really, really happy to be here with everyone.
Thank you, Gurunam. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to, implore. It's so sad that we have to end this. And so I wish I could just stay with you guys all day and we could just be rocking and rolling. But I do want to honor all you. Thank you all for coming, for sharing, for participating. Let's keep this conversation going offline next week, same time, same place. And my intentions, you guys, I just was hanging out with Aurandeep yesterday. I'm prepared at the moment to start doing these live in parks, regardless of permission. Because I feel people need it. And even just, people just passing by, they might be served by some sort of like harmony these days. So, let's start planting those seeds too, whether it's in Fresno or LA or wherever we are in the world or the Bay Area. Maybe we might need to start doing these out in public too and have a lot of intention behind them. It's not just a hippie gathering, but we're going to also stretch our hips. We're going to stretch our backs. We're going to stretch our necks. We're going to not just be hippies, but we're going to be ollies. I don't know. How do you be a holistic hippie, So that being said, before we bounce out, is there anybody else want to share anything? How you guys feeling? I want to make sure I honor everybody. Any last words?
Shukriya.
Shukriya.
Thank you.
Kya baat.
Yeah, about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah, Rishi, I want to respond to what you just said. Actually, I think that's a really important point. Is because like in the spiritual community and people who are on a spiritual path and conscious, it like I've kind of been on both sides. It's easy to get all overly focused on like the light and the fun space, but then also earth, you know, like Grace said, get down on the earth, like pull the energy up and be in the physical and figure out how to actually transmute like what we're downloading into a physical space and actually take action. So yeah, I'd really love to like have that be an intention and a focus of yes, being like connected to source and being connected to the earth and pulling up energy, but then also like moving forward with loving action together in collaboration. Yeah, so that's what I really love, like what Julian's doing, and Julian, right? Yeah. Yeah, and Rishi, what you do too. So
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're doing it together, and now Craig has some homework. I mean, home play or whatever, and we're gonna like team up and whatever. We're gonna find out how we can support him and Stefanosis. Maybe you and Aurandeep are gonna team up. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of power right here. We have so much synergy just on this, right? Imagine if we continue to extend that. And Sudama, obviously you're always planting seeds of awesomeness. And I wonder, Sudama, if you went to your city hall meeting and just started performing, you know, what would happen? It'd be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep. Power of presence.
They might not be as afraid of you as they are of me when I go to city hall meetings. Just letting you know,
Right.
But yeah, thank you guys so much. Many blessings. I hope you guys all have a wonderful start to your week. May the force flow through you and with you, and we'll all be in each other's prayers. And let's also continue to pray for the resolution of the farmers, not just in India, but all over the world. You know, this is a really beautiful time also, you know, just like Grace was sharing, this is a realization. We're waking up. And those of us, it's okay. Everybody's got a different place of waking up, right? And so we don't need to be in a rush. We're not Russians here, okay? Maybe it's Russians are okay. We could have Russians perform too. It's fine. But we need to like, you know, understand that a part of this is us just showing up as ourselves, our best selves, and continuing to improve and show up in that way. And that's it. It'll work out. You know, I think that's what faith is all about. So thank you guys. Please advance this invitation to other people. So next week we can continue to grow this, you know, community. So please feel free, feel called. Let's build this beautiful collective. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all. It's great to meet you.
Awesome, beautiful.
Sharing. Thank you, Rishi.
All right, I'll leave you guys with a call. Here we go. This is what we do in Sikhism. This is a really great way that we galvanize everybody. I'm gonna say a big, like a loud thing. Everybody's gonna say Sat Sri Akal afterwards, which means Sat Sri Akal means the truth is like infinite, right? It goes like the truth is like the most infinite thing. Doesn't matter what you want to do with it. You can't do anything. Truth. All right, here we go. Awesome, guys. Much love. Peace. Be well.
Bye.